Welcome to week 2, lecture 5, Periodization in Sports 2. Objective of lecture 5 is to know sports periodization, to know phases of sports periodization and its goal, to know different annual periodization, and to know biomotor variable periodization. The outcome of lecture 5 is to recall components of sports periodization, to recall phases of sports periodization and its goal, to recall biomotor variable periodization, and at the last, to identify type of annual periodization required for your athletes. Let's start by knowing sports periodization. When we say sports, there is a competition event. So in sports periodization, one of the phase of an annual planning would be competitive phase. Before the competition, the phase before the competition is called as preparatory phase, and the phase after the competition phase is called as transition phase. So the given annual time period can be divided into months, and those months can be divided into weeks, and every week, every month has been given a dedicated phase name which is called as competition phase or preparatory phase. Preparatory phase has two subphases, a general preparatory phase and a sports specific preparatory phase. And competition phase has again two subphases, a pre-competition phase and competition phase. Now let's understand each of these phases one by one. Let's start by understanding what is preparatory phase. Preparatory phase is a phase where an athlete establishes its physical, technical, and psychological basis. And this foundation fitness level, this foundation preparedness becomes the basis for the athlete's competition phase. The aim of entire preparatory phase is to acquire and improve general physical capacity. That is, the ability of an athlete to work more, to train for a longer period of time. In preparatory phase, general preparatory phase aims to improve health specific fitness variable and sport specific fitness variable. GPP, as an abbreviation for general preparatory phase, also aims to improve the work capacity, which is implemented by increasing the volume and having a lower intensity. The duration of entire GPP can range from 15% to 25% for the entire preparatory phase. In GPP, specifically, you use parallel planning. It means in GPP, you can train multiple fitness variables together. In sports preparatory phase, SPP as an abbreviation, it aims to transfer the fitness level, the general fitness level that you have achieved in GPP into sports specific fitness variables. It also aims to improve the intensity and lower the volume. So this is the phase where an athlete would undergo a higher intense exercises and training routine. The duration of an entire sports specific preparatory phase lasts from 85% to 75% of an entire preparatory phase. So sports preparatory phase, this transfer of fitness level from general fitness, general health specific fitness to sports specific fitness can be achieved by implementing a parallel and emphasized periodized planning. In competition phase, the aim is to maintain and continue improvement in the sports specific fitness levels that you have achieved in this previous preparatory phase. The aim is also to improve the preparedness and dissipate fatigue. Now remember, this is the phase where the athlete is actually undergoing the competitive events, and these events are the ultimate markers of an athlete performance. So recollecting the fitness fatigue paradigm, it is very important that during this event the preparedness is high and the fatigue is less. And this is what one of the aim is in the competition phase. And this increased in preparedness and dissipation of the fat is achieved by sequential planning. which includes training a fitness variable one after another in a logical manner in such a way that you ultimately achieve your sport specific fitness levels. Now, transition phase is a phase where you aim to reduce the accumulated fatigue from the competition events that the athlete undergoes. In transition phase is actually a transition phase is actually a deload phase where you decrease the training load by up to 40 to 50% in compared to the competitive phase. The overall duration of the transition phase should be up to 4 weeks. If the transition phase is more than 4 weeks, then a detraining would introduce. And this is where the athlete may lose its fitness level and the baseline may drop. Now, let's know what are the types of annual periodization. This is a typical monocycle annual periodization. The term mono means a single competition. So just expanding this fundamental understanding, if there are more than one competition, that annual training planning is called as bicycle annual periodization. So as the number of events for a given year increases, so from bicycle there will be tricycle annual periodization plan, which implies that there are 3 competition phases. When there are 3 competition phases, there will be 3 preparatory phases for a given annual planning. Now let's know different type of biomotor variable periodization. Let's start with endurance periodization. What it means is, how do you develop your endurance to prepare for the sporting event? So how do you divide the phase in such a way that you can increase the volume and progress by increasing the intensity and prepare yourself for the sporting event? In order to do that, the first thing you need to develop is aerobic endurance in GPP. Followed by that, you continue developing your aerobic endurance and you introduce sport specific endurance. And as you move closer towards the competition phase, you give more emphasis on improving further sport specific endurance. Now, this is the general pattern you should be following if you aim to increase sport specific endurance. Now let's see how speed periodization looks like. The first thing you need to develop in order to improve the speed for a given sport is you develop the general speed and general acceleration. Once you develop this fitness variable, you then develop the max speed. So once the max speed is being developed, you develop now anaerobic endurance. Followed by anaerobic endurance, as you move close to the competition phase, now you introduce sport specific speed, sport specific agility and sport specific reactive agility speed sessions. So this is a general and recommended periodization if you aim to increase the speed for a given sport. Now let's see at the last, strength periodization. The first thing you need to develop is muscle mass. Once you develop the muscle mass, then you develop your max strength. And this max strength is then converted into then explosive strength. This sequence of this periodization of strength training will ultimately help you to become more powerful, which is the key parameters for any sporting events. So in summary, sports periodization has 3 different phases. Every phase have a specific target to achieve. Depending upon number of competition in a given year, an annual periodization can be a monocycle, a bicycle, a tricycle or quadricycle periodized plan. If you are aware about the biomotor variable periodization, it will help you to select a specific fitness variable and create a planning and structure of fitness regime so that you can implement the periodization concept of planning and programming. Thank you.